Hi, welcome to High Road 2. This is Mark Stofer. And I want to share a story with you that really resonated with me, having gone through this battle at a very young age, but ultimately is to inspire and encourage you to overcome challenges in your life. And let's admit, if we're not in the challenge currently, we're going into them or we're coming out of them or all of the above. And ultimately, I was listening to a podcast with Anthony Robbins. Says every new level, there's a new devil, and there's so much truth in that. So as we kind of navigate our life and we constantly take on these battles, we have to have a foundation. And what I found to work best for me is nutrition, physical, and social activity every day. And in that safe, healthy environment that provides the foundation to give you the resiliency to take on the challenges. And specifically when there is elephants in the room. For me, it was early on, my family, it was very toxic. There was a lot of criminal activity. There was a lot of drug activity. There was a lot of influence. There was a lot of influence that was just an expectation that, you're in the family, this is what we do. And it wasn't until a counselor came beside me and said, hey, working with my probation officer at the time, says, you know what, you have options. You can't change anybody. The only person you can change is yourself. And to wallow in deny, ignore, blame, to wallow in resentment and self-pity and victimization, it was just an excuse for unaccountability. So when he educated me about, what my options are, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It resonated with me and it changed my life forever. And so with that, I want to drive this point home even further in that there was a post on LinkedIn, and this is what it says. People will forgive you for being wrong, but they will never forgive you for being right, especially if events prove you right while proving them wrong. That was my environment. That's what I grew up in. And you have to contend with that. As much as you love family, sometimes family is not the healthiest thing for you, and you have to separate yourself indefinitely. So I replied to this post simply saying, cowardice loves company. I tell my kids, misery likes company. And this also, to drive this point home, I want to read a story about a doctor in the 1840s. His name was Doctor Zemulviz. He was a visionary physician who, in the 1840s, urged his colleagues to wash their hands before delivering babies to prevent the tragic deaths that were happening at that time. Despite being right, he was ridiculed, his career was destroyed, and he died in obscurity, only to be recognized decades later for his groundbreaking discovery. Now, if you think about that, you and I might not be here today if he didn't stick to his guns, his strong conviction that he was 100% right. But I think, what is sad about this story is that he didn't have a foundation, a safe place to basically regroup and, get some wind in his sails and really, have resiliency to combat the challenges that he faced within his profession. And I think that, he was so immersed in his profession that he didn't have the ability to see the potential to step outside of that physical and social and nutritional benefits of just being synergistically charged, if you will, to take on that challenge that he faced in life and that drove him to a psychiatric ward where he died of obscurity. And so I think that's incredibly sad. And there's a saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Well, yeah, I want to be both. And there is a way to be both. I do believe they coexist. So I wrote back to this post. I simply said, doing what is right and finding joy in that journey, knowing that being right and doing what is right can indeed coexist. And with that, I hope this inspires you and encourages you. And as you navigate the challenges that you face in your life and the convictions that you have, don't back down. Face those elephants in the room head on. And at the same time, find that balance that gives you that foundation, that gives you that resiliency to overcome and thrive. And with that, I hope this message finds you well.